asked me if I was ready.
I
You just hit
did.
the button and you're like,
No,
okay, you're
I
live.
said, "Were you ready?" And you were
All
like,
right.
"Yeah, I'm ready."
Okay. Well, happy Easter, everybody. Happy Passover. And I know there's other religions that celebrate things now too. Happy whatever that is. And how is everybody tonight?
Everybody looks pretty good.
They look good. That's
Yeah, they
great.
look all right. Danny
Nice.
Boyd, Joe K is here, Franco's here, Crazy 77. Let's see, Charles Elert, Alan TT, Mexican Spec. What's with the rooster? He wants to know.
What rooster?
Paul Capazola. Let's see, who else? Dennis Wallace.
You got some new names there.
Get some new names, yeah.
Greetings all.
Brett McIntyre, Blake's
Let's tell
Restoration,
let's
and
tell Easter
Automotive.
stories.
Easter
Yeah.
stories, like what?
I don't know. Do you have any?
Do we have any Easter stories?
Yeah. No, right?
No, just the one we were telling earlier today.
Which one was that?
How we used to go to Aunt Maria's house.
Oh yeah, I don't want to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Easter stories. Happy Easter, everybody. Well, Uncle Tony got a beard trim. Did you trim your beard?
I didn't. It just looks less because I have the rooster, so it appears that I'm a little more clean shaven than usual.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Can't really see the rooster completely.
You can't. Oh no. Well, here.
I can't really tilt this up anymore. No,
that
his
good?
head is cut off.
Oh.
He's too tall. Oh, that's much better.
Okay.
Happy Easter, everybody. Let's see. So what's new, Tony?
Oh, not a whole lot. What is new?
Old timer says, "Show me the time slip. I will race you here in Alaska this winter in reverse with my dog sled."
Bring it.
So, what's going on, Tony?
Really, nothing I can think of. It's been just a very it's been like a low ebb week. Really,
Yeah.
like nothing's happened. We're just doing our thing. We
can't
went to
believe it's
Dr.
a
Art's
week.
yesterday. It's been a week, right? I know.
It's the craziest thing. Does everybody else's week like fly by? Like, do you guys like? Are you freaked out that it's Sunday already again? Because we are.
So we went to
Booster
Dr.
Town.
Art's house yesterday. That was fun. He's got a lot of really neat stuff there. I left like with some ambitions and some ideas, and he has a go-kart there, and I have a go-kart there.
We do have a
And
go-kart.
yeah, I have a go-kart sitting on the side of my house that I haven't touched in like 3 years. So my wheels are turning now a little bit.
Franca says, "Happy Easter, Kathy," and what's his name? Weekends fly by, weekdays drag on. Chris Freemasser says.
It's all one big day. It's like one day that the sun goes up, sun
It's
goes
so
down, sun goes up.
fast.
Yeah, sun goes up and down several times during this day. That's
Like,
the life of a YouTuber. I mean, honestly,
I don't
it's
know
really
if
what
that's
it is.
it. It goes really, really quickly. How's the garden coming? I'm just starting. So hopefully, like, within the next couple of days, I'll start to plant some things.
Yeah.
Gonna expand it this year, Tony. It's
Really?
gonna be bigger and more.
It was pretty big and expansive last year.
Wait till this year. You're gonna be shocked.
You're gonna grow more of that stuff that I don't eat.
The zucchini?
You grew a lot of stuff that I don't eat.
I grew a lot of amazing tomatoes.
The tomatoes were great. They were delicious.
Those were the best tomatoes you ever had, right?
They were fantastic. But there was so much stuff that I didn't eat. And I was like, why
Just
did you plant that?
zucchini
Yeah, well, I don't eat that.
and cucumbers you don't eat?
I didn't see any cucumbers.
Yeah, I had some cucumbers.
They were tiny, little baby cucumbers you made.
No, they got really big.
Really?
Yeah, they were gigantic, actually.
Oh.
But what happened was I didn't get to cut them because I was so busy, so they kind of went bad before I was.
So that's why I didn't.
Yeah,
okay.
I only got a few of them. Eggplant. Yeah, the eggplants are amazing.
I don't eat eggplant.
Well, I'm going to plant eggplants again.
Oh, jeez.
Why don't you eat eggplants?
You can't plant like beef stroganoff.
What do you eat?
or something.
What do you eat that I could plant?
I like your tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'm not a vegetable guy.
You're not a vegetable guy.
No. Plant some beef.
Kathy, a true Guinea garden is tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. I planted peppers. You ate the peppers?
The peppers are good.
The peppers were good.
The peppers are good.
The eggplant was delicious. We had so many eggplants.
I don't eat eggplant.
Uncle Kathy Garden YouTube special live. Yeah, we could do that. I could talk about gardens. I'm not.
Could.
I could talk about
Why
gardens.
don't we do
I
this?
love
Why
gardens.
don't we do this live about gardening?
Nobody's gonna care.
They all care. They love gardening.
They
Ask
don't.
them.
What's up, Terrence Seymour? Uncle Crystal says yes, eggplant.
No,
Uncle Crystal, our gardens are gonna be huge this year. All right, they don't want to talk about gardens. They want to talk about cars.
How come she's not here?
She's on here. She's on the live.
Oh, she did awesome. She got me milk. For
Real milk
we
today.
went over to Uncle Crystal's house for Easter today,
Uh-huh.
and she actually had the milk that I like, regular milk.
Real milk, whole milk.
Yeah, she usually
Honey
has like
drinks
this
whole milk.
crazy milk. It's like skim like lotus milk or some
Uncle
stuff.
Crystal says she can't wait for the gardens and the chickens.
And the chickens. That's right.
Uncle Crystal, pick your other chickens that you're getting. Eggplant, you won't know how it's not meat. Right, yeah, it's a meat substitute.
Not to me, it's not.
I mean, I like meat, but I like eggplant.
The only meat substitute I like is other meat.
All right. Guys, making me a list of what I should plant, and then we could talk about it on the lives.
Okay.
Because everyone's interested in my garden.
Well, there are some things that everybody has in common. So we've all got cars
We
in
all
common.
eat.
We all eat. So it's like, why not?
Uncle Crystal says, I'm doing research now on chickens. Awesome.
Oh.
Glenn says, no eggplant. Love the channel. Happy Easter.
Crystal, that's a rooster. I'm helping her with her research.
Yeah. Big tomatoes, yeah.
It's not real, by the way. It's
Tomatoes, yeah.
it's a metal rooster.
Uh-huh. All right, so Tony, you said that you came back with some ideas from Dr. Arts. What kind of ideas do you have?
Oh, nothing specific. I just got inspired. So.
You got inspired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sit by myself in the dark in the shop all day.
Is that what you do?
Alone.
Like a little mushroom?
Like a mushroom, and I don't have much like input or inspiration. So it was nice going to somebody else's place,
Right.
and getting some inspiration.
Of
Like when I go
course.
to Kiwis, and I'm like, I can't do any of this stuff.
You run there to steal his contents.
Right, I go there just to steal his content and to feel inferior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Onions. I've tried onions a few times, and usually what happens is we'll have a crazy rainstorm and it'll wash all the onions that I planted away. So I've had no luck with onions. Zucchini, tomatoes, pickling cucumbers, beans, different varieties of peppers.
Strawberries. How about strawberries?
The strawberry plant right there. I
Right
didn't
where?
plant it yet.
Which
Right
one?
there, that big one.
That's strawberries?
Yeah. I didn't plant it yet. I
Okay.
just bought it.
What happened to that bag of strawberries that we were going to try to grow?
I hung it.
Right.
I watered it, but it got some sort of disease, so I had to dump it.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't have any luck with those. That's okay. Sometimes that happens. Uncle Chicken's crystals. What? Plant strawberries, yeah. Jalapenos. Do you like jalapenos?
I got to be in the mood for them. I used to love hot stuff. I lost my taste for them.
Yeah. You have good soil, I can tell. We do have excellent soil, and I want to thank our chickens for that because I'm still fertilizing with what they've left over.
It's not just the chickens. This place is so fertile, it's ridiculous. You can't stop things from growing
Well,
in
I
Tennessee.
dug that soil like feet deep and turned it, so by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't use a tiller.
That's right.
I dug trenches and I turned it from side to side. So let's see. QMRK says, "Hey Tony, would doing something like Uber Eats and DoorDash be good for breaking in a new engine after the initial break-in?"
Sure, why not?
Yeah, you think?
After the initial break-in, why not?
I guess so.
What was that? I remember that magazine test car I delivered pizza with. What was that?
I don't know which one. Honestly, I can't remember. It's a really long time ago. I know that you did.
It wasn't a Turbo Buick.
Was it the Corvette?
Was it the Corvette?
I don't know. I don't remember.
All I know is it had manufacturer's plates on it.
It wasn't the Turbo Buick.
No, no. Neil's friend had that pizzeria,
Right.
and we were doing Cars Illustrated, and we delivered pizza in the magazine test car.
Yeah. Neil would probably remember. He's good at that
Neil
stuff.
remembers everything,
Yeah.
everything.
He has one of those photographic memory brains. Let's see. Ryan Van Dillon says, "Happy Easter, Uncle T. Let's talk cars."
Let's
He
talk about
doesn't want
cars.
to talk plants.
All right. And you obviously don't want to talk about my rooster.
No.
My rooster's nuts loose.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay. So,
No, seriously.
all right. So, Ryan S. has a question, I think.
Down, boy. Down.
All right. It's a car question.
Quiet.
Building my first non-Mopar. It's a 97 step-side Chevy 350 Vortec.
Okay.
Mom is telling me to sell it before basic training. Got a shift kit and cam coming, so that's not happening. What else should I do to it?
I don't know. I can't answer. I don't know.
You don't know what else you should do to it?
No, he's got a cam and a shift kit coming. I mean, headers would be a logical step.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's your next next thing that we're doing with the cars? What are we working on?
I was gonna get the converter from Shane this week, and I didn't.
Why not?
I didn't have a chance to get down there and pick it up. I should have and just ship it up to me.
Yes. I think we discussed that last Sunday.
Well, we knew it was going to rain this Saturday. It's been in the forecast forever, so
It's been raining for days.
yeah, we didn't even bother thinking about trying to get anything ready to go for yesterday. Next Saturday is supposed to be clear. I don't know. I'd like to get Plan Z out. That's probably the next thing we'll take.
Okay.
Bottle Rocket. I want to get back out there, but I'll tell you ahead of time now. I'm only going to go out there to make 60-foot shots. So it's just stage the car, launch the car. I got to work on my reaction times a little bit, and I want to just do 60-foot shots. I don't want to waste the car, waste the motor, and all of that. The only thing I'm concerned with right now is just getting the car off the starting line and clean through the 60-foot or clean through first gear. So I don't know how interesting a video that's going to be for people.
Probably not very interesting.
But I don't care. But I don't care.
Well, what we asked people like a few weeks ago what they want to see. Remember?
Well, the thing is, the testing and tuning process is something that goes on inside your head. You know what I mean? And like, all I'm really concerned with right now with that car, I don't care what it runs ET-wise. I care that it bites and that it works consistently. So I have to play with the tire pressure. I have to play with the air shock on the right side. I have to play with the torsion bar adjustments.
So will you make each of those things a video? Like what you find?
Well, it's kind of right. Well, it's kind of like a package. It's like, okay, well, we did this,
Okay.
and then the car did that. So then we made this change, and then the car did that. So we have to make this change, and the car did that. And that's why when I go out next with the car, I don't want to confuse myself or beat the car up making full runs. I just want to make 60-foot shots, just to get the car to where it bites, goes, and because that's the only place the car really needs work. The rest of it is fine.
Okay. Casey Crane says, Uncle Tony, I would like to know if an intake manifold for slant 6 for three 45 millimeter Weber carburetors need to be made out of aluminum, or can it be made out of light steel?
I mean, you could. I've seen sheet steel manifolds before. They're a little bit heavy, but they're easy to fabricate. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do it.
Paul Capazola says, how about a chassis tuning video?
Well, that's what it would be. The chassis tuning is your 60-foot. Beyond 60-foot, there's really no such thing. It's everything. But by the time you get to the 60-foot mark, everything in the car is settled out, and it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, the car's reached the attitude that it's going to have for the rest of the run. The suspension is settled out. What it's going to do for the rest of the run. So suspension tuning is the 60-foot.
Orlando, do I need to use a PCV valve on my 360? I'm using 2 open filters at the moment on the valve covers. Thanks, Tony.
You should. I mean, obviously, I don't use a PCV valve on something that's just going to go to the track. But anything that gets driven around to any extent always gets a PCV valve, because if nothing else, every time you start an engine, it goes from cold to hot. There's condensation inside the engine. and the PCV valve helps to take that moisture out, so you don't end up with sludge and gunk and gack and whatnot. So a PCV valve is always a good idea.
Let's see. Last video was great. Loved it, Mike C says.
Thank you.
Let's see. Zero says, did a wheel cylinder job on my Dart. Yikes.
Did what?
A wheel cylinder job on his Dart.
Wait, 9-inch drums in the front. The stubby brake line, is that what got you?
I don't know. What happened when you burned the glitter? We didn't do that yet.
We didn't yet.
No. Let's see. Yes, 9-inch drum boss. Zero says.
Yep. I know the drill, man. It sucks.
Do we need the glitter in the carb? Unity Motorsports Garage is here.
Evening,
howdy,
Andy.
folks.
How you doing, brother, man? Andy, did you talk to David Rizard about the thing that we talked about yet?
Let's see. Mike C says, I love the bottle rocket. It's going to hurt a lot of feelings. Keep stirring the trolls. We don't have to do much to stir
I don't have to stir the trolls. The
Stir
trolls
on
are always stirring themselves.
Oh my goodness. Zero says, took the backing plate off to mount the wheel cylinder. I had to file it to get to mount.
I know. I have a box wrench that I've ground down to almost nothing to get at those bolts in the back. And the hardest part is that stubby piece of brake line that they put in there.
Jonathan House says, hey Uncle Tony, found your channel a few weeks ago when I bought a 67 Oldsmobile Delmont 88.
Okay, yeah.
With 46,000 miles. I wish you were around Indiana. I'd love for you to check it out. My first old school car.
Yeah, I love stuff like that, man. It's good luck with that one.
Congrats. Let's see. Did Unity answer you? Not yet. Not that I see. Thank you, Fubar. Fubar shared our merch.
Thank you, Fubar.
Let's see. Beaumont resident Tony, what is the quickest way to adjust a 4-barrel quadrijet? Thanks.
Same as any other carburetor. And we did tons of videos on that, on the going around the idle stop and the mixture screws and all. Same as a Holly, same as an Edelbrock, Carter, they all have the same procedures. For the basic dialing into the carburetor. I mean, if you go further than that, when you're talking about drop rods, and then it's all different. But if you're talking about just getting an adjustment to make the thing run, it's a universal adjustment. It really, the manufacturers kind of all got together and agreed it's going to be, this is the approximate deal, so that a mechanic can tune of any one of those carburetors using the same methodology and the same so on and so forth.
Rippler BR, I'm not really sure how to say your name. It says, UTG, it was so awesome to see Bottle Rocket race Casper. Will there be a rematch? Thank you for the memories.
Yes, Andy and I are going to race each other again at the end of the year. This way, he'll have time to work his deal out, we'll have time to work our deal out, and it should be a more entertaining. It was an entertaining race. It was definitely an entertaining race, but I think having both cars now sorted out, where they're going to do really what they're going to do, that'll be even more interesting.
Andy says Tony has been driving up the price on 4-door B bodies since April 1st.
Yep.
Oh yeah, really, Andy? See, mascot rooster, yeah.
0 body flex on that car. If you got, I'm serious about this now, right? If you're thinking about building a Mopar for drag racing, seriously think about doing a 4-door or a sedan. It doesn't have to be a 4-door, but a sedan with a post, because that post, like.
What are we looking at? Where am I going?
Just tilt it this way.
Okay.
This post right here.
You got no shoes on.
I know. I'm feeling frisky.
Okay.
Yeah? This post right here is a frame connector. People don't realize, the sedan body, that post stiffens everything up. You don't need undercar frame connectors to keep it from twisting. It won't twist with the post. So you save yourself like 40 pounds of undercar weight, and you put the weight up where it's going to do you some good, because that weight, and it's not even, they're really not heavy at all, but that weight is transferring back, where the weight you put under the car, you do undercar frame connectors, that's actually working against weight transfer. So a sedan, a Mopar unibody sedan, is the best natural drag car, because they're not the prettiest for sure. Yeah, CUDA, you want to build something pretty, build a CUDA, right? Or a Roadrunner or something like that. But if you're just looking for like brutal efficiency, the lightest package you can have, the stiffest factory package you can have, 4-door.
Rika says, hey Tony, nerdy Mopar question, but why did they use a different model NR for the Holly Slant 6 carbs for A and B body cars, even when both have
say
the
that
same
again.
trans?
Go back and say
What's
that
an
one time.
NR? Different model NR?
NR.
I don't know, maybe it's a typo.
Be more specific, please.
He's saying different model for the Holly Slant 6 carbs for A and B body cars, even when both have the same trans. Why didn't they just use the same?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a typo.
I don't.
Sorry.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's see. Breaking news. What? South Jersey Jim says, breaking news. Brian Cabral convinced Bottle Rocket's victory was fixed. Of course.
Of course it was fixed.
Of course. Thank you, South Jersey Jim.
Brian is our biggest fan. Brian is watching this right now, I'm sure.
Oh, goodness. So what about the launch and the wheel being up and all that?
CGI.
Oh, right. Yeah, I learned how to do all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah, we faked the whole thing.
Yeah. CGI, and then we fast forwarded the film so it looked like the car's really.
Right. 672E Galaxy says, hey y'all, happy Easter.
Happy Easter, man.
Fixed by nitrous, Danny Boyd says. It was more than nitrous. Let's see. Chevelle 300 also has posts, Wayne says.
Yeah, that's right. Any of the post sedan cars. That's what you want to build. And they're cheap. There's no cheaper way to build a drag car. Because you think about it, right? You're going to build a car for drag racing. You're going to wreck the car. You're going to destroy the car. All of its like niceness is going to go out the window. So you can put a roll bar in there and take weight out and so on and so forth. So start with something cheap. You know what I mean? And 4-doors are cheap.
Joe K says, with regards to the posts on a sedan,
yes.
What about cars like second, third, fourth gen Camaros, where the B pillar is closer towards the front than a traditional coupe/hardtop car?
The B, you mean the C pillar?
I guess he means the C pillar. Second, third, fourth gen Camaros, where the B pillar is closer towards the front.
There is no B pillar
on a Camaro.
On a Camaro, no. Okay. So the windshield post is the A pillar. If it's a sedan, the post in the middle is the B pillar. If it's a hardtop, there is no B pillar, and the rear part is
Joe K says
C
the pillar behind the doors.
Yeah. They're good cars, but I don't know them well enough to know what their structural rigidity is.
Jonathan House sent you $5, but
Thank you.
I'm looking to see if he types a question because there was no question there. So be patient with me. I'm going to keep an eye open because sometimes they go through without the question.
Yeah.
The super chats. So I'll keep looking, Jonathan.
But thank you for the super chat. Always appreciated.
Let's see. Chris says, happy Easter, Uncle Tony and Aunt Kathy.
Happy Easter.
Thank you. Happy Easter. I have a 71 Plymouth Satellite with a 318. What's the biggest engine without changing the K member?
What year is it?
71 Plymouth Satellite.
Any of them. You don't get into the problem with swapping out K-frames until you get to 73. When they had the isolated K-frame, then they have a big block and a small block K. But all your B-bodies from 1962 to 1972 is the same K-frame for big and small block.
I don't see any question from Jonathan House yet. Avert your cameras. Where do I have to look? Where do I gotta go? Let's see. Chicken.
Look at the chicken
I
for a
can't see
second.
the whole chicken. Hit us with some random trivia on shaker hoods.
Random trivia on shaker hoods.
Yeah.
Shaker hoods were all black unless you ordered a red car,
Uh-huh.
in which case they came red. So red was the only car,
Fascinating.
yeah, it was the only combination that had a body color shaker hood. More shaker hood trivia. There was a shortage of shakers for the Dodges, for the Dodge hood at some point, and they were using they used a combination of just that twin scoop hood, and some of them got the AA. Some of the Hemi cars got the AA or the TA Challenger hood. What else? What other shaker trivia?
Are you almost done? I have to avert the camera when Tony rolls a cigarette. Somebody's texting me. My phone is going off. All right. Wait, buy silver, Zero says.
Yes, definitely buy silver. There is a shortage.
This is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice. Please buy silver.
Okay. Please, we're begging you. This is not financial advice, though. You'll lose all your money. Okay. Los Cadaver says, I'm in trouble, Tony.
Oh, no. Let me see if I can help you out of it, my friend.
I made myself a dip tank to reduce the weight of my Plymouth Arrow quarter car, and we hit 1,600 pounds last night.
Nice.
But he's in trouble. Why is he in trouble?
Why are you in trouble?
I don't know. I have no idea why he's in trouble. Let's see.
I was expecting to, like, bail this guy out.
Bail him out?
Yeah.
Good evening, mechanics.
What a gorgeous night.
It is nice out. Mitch says, wait for silver to go down.
Silver's taking a dive right now.
Who's texting me?
If you wait until it goes down, I'm telling you right now, if you wait until it goes down, there won't be any in the market to buy.
Who's texting me? Crystal. Crystal's texting me. Okay. I just realized I gave Tony the healthy sugar instead of the regular sugar for his coffee, Crystal says.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything,
She
Crystal.
says she had regular sugar.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was so happy about the milk, you know. So, don't worry about it. Thank you.
Jason Fitch says it's God's money, so it's spiritual advice.
Bingo.
Let's see. Gene Stevenson says, I'm in trouble too, like Frubar, only worse. Let's see. Thomas W. says, much love, appreciate the wisdom. Jonathan Couchy sent you $10.
Thank you, John.
Hi, Tony. We broke in the 360 for my brother's hot rod. Has the whiplash cam. We're still installing Chinese 1.6 roller rockers.
Okay.
Do you think a converter would help? It has 355 posi gears. It is a D150 truck.
Which cam is this? The whiplash cam?
Yeah.
No, you could. Well, look, a converter would help, okay, but it's not necessary. That cam is really designed for a car. Read the spec sheet on the cam. It's designed to work with a lower compression, low stall converter. It'll work better with a converter, but it's not really necessary for that cam. The cam makes a bunch of bottom end torque.
Oh, we missed a super chat.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry. Alan TT sent you £5. Happy
you,
Easter, Kathy and Tony.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. How about a super rooster build? Super bird, super bee, and now the super rooster. Super rooster. That could be taken so many different ways. The name of the car could be something that we really don't want it to be.
Yeah, I gotta dwell on that. I'll lay away
Thank
while
you so
tonight
much.
and think that through. Thank you.
How's the paint holding up on the duster?
Eh.
He's like, eh.
It's okay. My
Huh?
my granddaughters decided that they were going to finger paint the side of the car
Well, no, they cleaned it with the mop.
they cleaned it with the mop.
With dirty water on
Right,
it.
exactly. Yeah. So it's not
They
it's
were
not looking
mopping
as
the
good.
concrete,
Did
and then
you
they
see?
decided to mop the car.
Okay, the world is full of ding dongs. Like
No.
the world
What are
is
you
full of
talking
ding
about?
dongs.
You have to stay positive, Tony.
I am positive. So I got tagged in a video yesterday, or the day before. I don't know. It's all one day to me. So I got tagged in this video, and it's like, did I find Uncle Tony's garage
I
green
saw that.
duster? So this guy, right?
Maybe he's just not paying attention.
No, I'm sure it's layers of brain damage and trauma.
Oh, that's not nice.
Like he started out with brain
That's not
damage, had
nice.
some trauma, then
That's
there was
not
more
nice.
brain damage and a little more trauma,
probably
and it brought him to
watching,
his current state.
Tony.
Well, if he's watching, good, brother. You need help. You need help. Please go get help. So he's going through this junkyard. He finds a green duster, and he's like, "Oh, looks like a green duster, like Uncle Tony's garage painted last year. This is it. This is definitely it. It's been junked." I mean, where do people come? How?
If he
How
watched
is this
the
even
lives,
possible?
he would know that the duster is behind you most of the time.
No, it's not in a junkyard. It's right there.
Relax. You're gonna have a stroke.
Oh, please.
Brett McIntyre says, "Tony rant, go go go."
Oh, I'm gonna lose it eventually. Just hang tight, guys.
Don't lose it.
Stick with me for a little while longer. I'm keeping it together, but eventually, yeah, it's all gonna come apart.
Spotted bottle rocket in the junkyard. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good title.
That's
It's
the next one.
This is not psychiatric or psychological advice.
No, I'm telling you, they started out with trauma,
It's
with damage, then trauma. You know, probably brain damage at
Zero
birth, and
says
then
it's
childhood
because you're
trauma.
stuck
And then,
up.
what's that?
Zero says it's because you're stuck up. It's in your yard. It's junk. Yes, Peter Kovacs. Doesn't pay to be dumb unless you show it, Doug Peck says.
Well, that's true. That's true. And some people do such a good job. They put it out there on display. It's
just
awesome.
Be nice.
I am nice.
Just be nice.
I'm being nice.
I guess in his mind, something made him think that was the car. I don't know. Don't worry about how it happened. Just be like, okay, but that's not it. That's all you gotta say. Don't go any further. You're good. Trauma is drama, Danny Boyd says. Zero says, love you, boss. D-Truth says, when's Bottle Rocket running the quarter?
I don't know. I'm not in any burning rush to go on a quarter mile with it. I want to run the car as a no prep car, as a grudge / no prep car. And all of that is eighth mile. I don't make this stuff up. You go find me some quarter mile grudge racing or no prep type of racing, and just show it to me because I've never seen it. It doesn't exist.
Ryan says, Miss Kathy, you sound like my wife. Be nice. Laugh out loud. I love it. Your wife sounds awesome, by the way. You need to be nice, Tony. Be nice.
No, I am being nice.
Your name will bring him views. Yes, we notice that people do that quite often.
What's that?
That the name of the channel brings, if they tag us, they get views on their video.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe they'll just make up stuff so that they get views. That's fine. I mean, that's the way of the world, Tony. You're not going to change that. You have to stop getting so upset over like stupid stuff. It's just so stupid.
I know. It's not that I get upset.
No,
it's
you
like
just
I can't
venting.
believe that it. Yeah.
Oh, but you always yell at me when you're like, "Why are you upset over that? How do you get upset?" And I'm like, "How is that even possible?" And then you're like, "You're surprised." You say that to me all the time, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that somebody does that." But I think that's called slopsism. Do you think that everybody thinks like you?
But wait a second, though. Wait a second. This guy, I don't even know what part of the earth he's on, right? But it doesn't sound like it's from Tennessee. Is in a random junkyard someplace.
Yeah, I was wondering where the junkyard was.
Right?
Like if it was
He's
close.
in a random junkyard someplace. He comes across a green duster.
I know.
And then somehow or another, through some thought process, I can't imagine what it would be, assumes that it's my car and that I discarded it in his words. I discarded it in the junkyard. Where does that come from?
I don't know. Where does anything come from, Tony?
He
Happy
walks around. He
Easter,
says,
everybody.
he goes, "Yep, slant 6."
Yeah, that makes it
That's
yours.
Tony's.
Jersey Jim says, wait, where did it just go? South Jersey Jim, UT, celebrity is a cross to bear. Fools will seek you out.
Oh, please tell me about it.
Don't complain. We
I'm
are
not
very
complaining.
grateful
I'm not
for everything
complaining.
that we have and the opportunities that we have. Let's see. Life is hard, but when you're stupid, it's really hard. Yes, Wayne.
Unless you have access to YouTube. In which case, it becomes a virtue of some sort.
Mexican Spec says you're famous enough for people to lie about you. The American dream.
Oh, it's constant.
Let's focus on something positive.
Yes, let's talk about
Okay.
positive things. You open. We should let the. You know what would be really groovy?
Oh, what?
If I had more coffee.
Oh, so you're gonna talk to the rooster while I'm gone?
Well, give me something to talk
Joe
about.
K says positive things like financial advice. I'm not gonna listen to that because
Because
people are
what?
gonna lose all their money. We don't give financial advice.
No, I don't give financial advice. But no, I do give financial advice, but not here. So, no, but seriously, pay attention. Like, don't take my word for any of this stuff, right? Pay attention to the things that are going on in the bond market. Pay attention to the things that are going on with the BRICS nations. Pay attention to the things that are going on with the Treasury Department. There are things happening right now that have never in the history of this economy, and this economy goes back. Well, I mean, honestly, you could trace our economy back to the tulip crisis, or what, the Dutch tulip crisis. It's just been an ongoing thing. There are things that are happening currently in the Western economy that has never, ever, ever in all of history ever happened. So, like, and I've been telling people about this for years now because it's been a slow build to where we are right now. But seriously, do your research. Don't take my word for it. There's lots of places to find good, solid information. It's not Bloomberg. You got to be careful where you get your financial information
This
from.
isn't financial advice.
This isn't financial advice. Thank you. Oh, you brought me coffee. It's not as good as the coffee that Crystal got me.
Of
I
course
love
not.
you, Crystal.
Hers had natural sugar in it.
So,
So speaking of not financial advice,
well, I was just going to say, if you get your financial news from Bloomberg, from Yahoo, from CNBC, or anything like that, stop. Hard stop. Just stop, because those people only have a vested interest in keeping you invested, you know what I mean? But pay attention to what's happening with bank runs. It's been bank runs like crazy. They just pledged through the FDIC to bail out pretty much everybody. It's like a $7 trillion debt that they're taking on top of. So listen to me, right? Do your homework.
what I was gonna say
Go ahead.
was that I was really surprised that in that video when you're talking to Andy and you flipped the quarter,
Mhm.
and you mentioned that the quarter was no good
Mhm.
because it's not
Nobody got it.
pre 1964.
Right. Nobody got it.
Maybe somebody should Google that.
Well, I'm telling them.
Yeah.
You know.
There were no comments about it, like literally no comments about it, and that scared me.
I don't benefit from, like, you guys protecting yourselves or learning about this stuff. So I have no vested interest or anything like that. But if you are interested, and I've done this before. I'll throw a couple other names out. I'll throw these names out again, right? So you can Google these people. They all have YouTube channels where they'll make videos, so they're easy to find. Okay, Andy Sheckman is one of them. He has a company called Miles Franklin. Andy Sheckman makes his rounds.
Rafi?
Brilliant guy. Rafi Farber does he has his own channel, but he also does a weekly show on silver for Arcadia Economics. Who else?
I'm thinking.
Bix Weir, but Bix Weir is kind of going down a rabbit hole,
Little
but he
out
still
there.
has good information.
Those first two. The first two that you mentioned.
Yeah, Andy Sheckman and Rafi
Rafi
Farber
Farber.
for sure. Johnny Bravo. Johnny
Makes
Bravo's a
sense.
good one. And who was the other? There's somebody else right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Gregory Manarino. So you'll like this guy. Gregory, we don't know each other, but he's from the same time and a place on Staten Island that I was. He was there in I think he's like 2-3 years younger than me. But he's a drag racer also. He's got a Camaro. He's got a Hemi Cuda, and he does a show. He does like 2 or 3 updates a day, and this guy's on top of the markets. His thing is the markets. So his name is Gregory Manarino.
He has a Staten Island accent, like
Yeah,
us.
it's a Staten Island accent.
Every
Yeah.
time he
We've
talks,
never met each other.
I
He has no
laugh.
idea who I am or anything like that. But I watch him on a regular. The guy's sharp.
Yeah.
So seriously, if you want to like really understand what's going on in the world in the economy right now, start doing your homework and really do it fast.
Kiwi Classics and Customs says, "What's up, old man?"
Kiwi.
This is not financial advice.
No. This is not financial advice, but Kiwi, the amazing Kiwi, has graced us with his presence.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
We got to do another live. I like doing a live with him.
Kiwi, yeah.
Yeah, except he was sitting a little too close to me.
Was he?
Yeah, it was a little weird. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay.
So what's going on with the builds with David Vizard?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of what's going on with the build with David Vizard at the moment.
C. Roma says, Staten Island accent? What accent?
What accent? We don't sound like we come from Staten Island. But Manarino is a drag racer.
Yeah, he has a Barracuda. He's selling his Camaro, and he's got a Barracuda.
He's got a Hemi. He's got a Hemi Cuda. Yeah. So if you head over there and you happen to jump into one of his chats, tell him Uncle Tony sent you.
Could you please go back and answer my question, John Cook? I would have to look for it. There's a lot of comments.
Okay. What are they?
I'm trying to find his question.
Well, just
Like,
have him
because
repeat
it scrolls up. Repeat it. I mean, this thing jumps around a lot, so you're gonna have to repeat it. Sorry. Dave Ramsey is in Franklin. Maybe Tony can be a guest on his show. That's probably not a good idea.
Not in a zillion years. I am not, absolutely not a Dave Ramsey fan.
Let's see. Tony, have you seen Thunderhead's new self-tuning carb system?
Yeah. I watched about 5 minutes of that video the other day. I don't know what to make of it.
Jonathan House sent you $5.
Thank you. I'll buy silver with it.
Put a clear view filter before my carb on my 67 olds. Small rust particles. Should I change the element every few weeks and hope it clears, or drop the tank?
You're probably best off dropping a tank. It's not going to clear. It's not going to clear. Once those tanks start to rust from the inside like that, they don't stop. And is this, you got to realize how much surface area there is to one of those tanks. So it's like I'm guilty of this too. You know, it's like, okay, well, a couple of flakes, no big deal. And sure as hell, a month later, you're on the side of the road with a clogged filter, and like, I should have dropped the freaking tank. There's so much surface area inside of a tank that once they start to rust, it just never stops unless you treat it in some way or replace the tank. So I would drop the tank.
40 Mamba says the quarter was no good, but you still pocketed it, Uncle Tony. Laugh out loud.
Well, it's good for the time being.
My brother's wife's cousin said that Dave Ramsey watches Uncle Tony. Oh, yeah?
That's fine. When Dave Ramsey understands what actual money is.
Okay.
Right? Then Dave Ramsey and I can have a talk. I like Dave Ramsey's basic philosophy, right? You know, the borrower is slave to the lender. I get that. That's fine. That's all good. But his premise is backwards. His premise is backwards. He doesn't recognize what money is. He confuses currency with money, and it's two completely different things. And he's adamant about it. And I find that his stance, what he professes to be, and his stance are in complete contradiction to each other. So, but maybe that's just me.
Kiwi Classics and Customs says, when's your next live, Tony? And I got the question from John Kukuk.
Every Sunday night, bro. Every Sunday night. Come to the shop next Sunday night. We'll do it from there.
Okay, so John says basically the difference between small block drivetrain to go to big block setup on my 68 Charger project.
Oh, okay. Well, your 68 Charger, nothing. The only thing you've got to change on that, because that car had a 727 in it, even with a small block. Um, your only change there is just the actual transmission, how the transmission case, right? Everything else is going to be bolt in. So you just got to go from a small block bell housing or a small block case to a big block case, and then everything else is the same.
Okay, so Brett McIntyre, how do you pick the stall of the converter without dyno numbers?
Well, I'm going to say guess at it, right? Okay,
That's not a good enough
I
answer.
know it's not a good enough answer. When I say guess at it, I mean make an educated guess, okay? And I'm serious about that. You make an educated guess. You take all of the factors into consideration. You know essentially what the motor is going to make. You know essentially where the cam turns on. You know essentially what kind of gear you're going to run. You know essentially what the weight of the car is. So you know those things, and you can make a pretty close calculated guess at what it's going to be. Your best, if you're looking for an actual number to go off of, go with the camshaft manufacturer's recommendation for the stall speed, because if you any cam you buy is going to come with a recommended stall speed, which is going to be an average, and so it's not going to be optimized for any particular, like, like a competition thing or anything like that. But the cam manufacturer will tell you what range this the what the power range is supposed to be on the engine using that camshaft, and it'll give you a recommendation for torque converter. So that's probably your closest bet.
Kiwi says,
And
okay, I'll be there next Sunday.
excellent, we'll do it at the shop.
Okay.
One other thing, and this is something Andy and I were talking about pretty extensively, right? And we both agree on this. Your dyno numbers do not equate to your drag strip numbers. So you can't go by the dyno will give you an idea what's going on, right? But there are so many different factors and variables that go into the difference between your dyno number and especially if you're using like a conventional dyno. If you're using like a, what do you call it, an inertia dyno, it's a little bit different. But if you're using a regular dyno where the dyno will allow the engine allow the engine RPM to come up and to take measurements in these spots, well, that's not telling you how that engine is going to fight through the curve once it's stuck to the ground, once it's stuck to the car. So dyno numbers are a guide, but they're not the end all be all. So keep that in mind.
Let's see. What about Gerald Salente?
Gerald Salente is another great one. Gerald Salente, Trends Journal, right? Yeah, Gerald is a riot, right? So he's good. And if you could tolerate this guy because he's out there, okay, would be Jim Willie. He has a company called the GoldenJackass.com. But Jim Willie is another one, and I guess he's gone, all right. But he's great. He's a brilliant mathematician, and he recognizes all this stuff. You understand? There's Fibonacci numbers. There's Kondratiev of cycles. There's all of these Elliott waves. There's all of these different things that the charts are based on. You know what I mean? And these are people who dissect this stuff, and they're generally right.
Let's see. Dave Ramsey has forgotten more about money than you will ever know.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Bullshit.
All right.
First off, how do you know how much I know about money?
Right.
Where are you getting your information from as to my experience or my education with money? Mm-hmm. Right? What markets do you know that I participate in?
Well, that's like saying Jim Cramer knows more about money than everybody else. I mean, just because it's Jim Cramer, and Jim Cramer
is wrong 100% of the time.
Right, wrong a lot.
But what if a Jim Cramer says you just do the exact opposite and you're golden?
It's like
right?
a meme.
Yeah. How do you know what my experience with economics, with financial is? You don't. You have no clue. So
but we don't give financial advice.
Right.
So we're just like naming a couple people that we admire.
Dave Ramsey does not give financial advice either. If you're stupid enough to judge a book by its cover, you can just go ahead and follow Dave Ramsey.
Mm. Zero says, I'm Jeff. Dang, thanks, brother. Okay, he's talking to somebody else. 156 likes. Come on, guys, Ray Jones says.
Oh, we need the likes. They do help the algorithms.
The likes. We never ask for those things.
I never ask for likes. I
We don't
never ask for subs.
We're almost at 300,000 though.
I know.
We
Would I
should ask for subs.
I'm not. No, I'm not going to ask for subs.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to be like begging people for subs since you won't do it?
No, I think we'll pass on the begging.
Are you
for subs.
sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay. We come to you for Mopar advice, not financial advice.
You know what, bro? They go hand in hand, okay? Because without money, you can't buy parts. You can't buy cars. You can't, you can't do anything, right? So money and cars go hand in hand, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it.
5.3 Pachyderm.
Yes.
$55.
Thank you.
Evening UTG. Took the Vega to an exhaust shop and they ran my car into something without telling me.
Ooh.
Dented fender and bent trim. What are you gonna do? Oh, that sucks.
Oof. Oh man.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean they should be willing to like fix it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they should.
If they're not, you need a lawyer, bro.
Yeah, they need to pay for that. Someone by Tony a billboard on the freeway outside Cabal's house made muscle sounds.
Hi, Brian. Happy Easter, Brian.
Money is just a tool to live. It is. Their insurance. Yeah, their insurance should cover that.
Yeah, shop owners insurance should cover that.
Camera pivot again. This is too much work, guys. All right, let's just look at the rooster breast. I can't see the rooster's head, Tony.
You can't?
No, just the. Oh my goodness. Stunned chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Let them out.
No,
They're probably
they're
gonna
gonna
be quiet
bark.
now. No, they'll be
They're
quiet.
gonna bark.
They
They're
want
not
to come
gonna be
out.
quiet.
Maybe they
I
have to
hear
make
them.
pee-pee.
Maybe
they gotta do good girl.
dogs. See, they're barking.
Wait till they stop.
It wouldn't be rent-free, but you'd definitely be in his head with a billboard.
Dude, I'm in his head 24/7.
Yeah, he's obsessed. Belvedere says rumpety rump, rumpety rump. It doesn't say anything. The Belvedere is completely empty. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. Harry says, UT, I recently put a rebuilt starter, and it turns out that the starter was bad. Direct from a major parts store. Disappointing what they sell sometimes.
Surprise, surprise. I know. That's why I get good alternators, good starters. I just put them on the side, because it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. I had 2, 3. I've had since I started this channel, I've had at least 3 bad starters out of the box.
Let's see. Tune in next week to Kev and the Rooster Throwdown.
That would be awesome.
Kiwi says, Kev and the Rooster.
That would be awesome. You got it, bro. I mean, you think Kev could take that?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Let's see.
Kev is going to come to snuff the Rooster.
Yeah, you think so?
Wait, I'm going to put this down here. Stay.
Pony Car Resurrection says, before I start this engine, reverse pistons and rods, correct? I reversed them both, waiting to start. I don't know what that means.
Reverse the rods.
Pistons and rods?
You have to, if you're going to do that, you have to take the piston, move it to the other bank, then turn it around. So that the orientation to the connecting rod, between the connecting rod and the crank stays the same, but the offset to the piston goes the other way.
Flip your pistons, flip the world. Yeah. No, not the rods too, Brett McIntyre says. Not the rods.
Yeah, if you're going to turn, so if you,
Make yourself clear.
yes, so the rod is oriented to the cheek of the crankshaft. Okay, and most of them have an oil hole, an oil squirter that's going to squirt to the other side. So what you do is you take the piston, right? You take it out of the one bank, you turn it around backwards, and you put it in the other bank. And this way, the orientation between the connecting rod and the crankshaft stays the same, but it reverses the offset on the piston.
Let's see. The White Tail Rancher says,
Yes.
I can tell how much you know about money simply by how you talk, what you say. But it is great fun for me to watch people defend what they believe, especially when it is in their self awareness.
I Economics is a hobby of mine. It's one of the things that I pay attention to. M- Macroeconomics and economic history. Uh, I know what I know from years of study and putting my money where my mouth is. So I'm not telling anybody to do anything that I haven't done myself. And
Well, you're not telling anybody to do anything.
I'm right, exactly. I'm not recommending for anybody to do anything I haven't done myself. And I did it 20 something years ago. I mean, I've been in the metals market for over 20 years. So I'm very aware of all of these things that go on.
And not everybody agrees about economics. There are lots of different stances that people take.
Yes.
So, let's see. Billy Bob Holcomb, I might as well invest in gelato and whipped cream. Delicious, Billy Bob. Let's see. Somebody's in Brazil. Hello, Brazil.
Greetings,
Motor
Brazil.
House 77 Rancing. Let's see. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. And happy Passover to whoever
Happy
might want to hear
Passover.
that too.
Kiwi's Kitchens, Counters, and Knitting.
Yeah, we're going to do a live with him next Sunday.
So, you know what I don't like?
What's that you like, babe?
I don't like how people are so judgmental. I don't like that.
Who's being judgmental?
I'm just saying, I don't really like that. Like, they think that they see one thing and it means something and it really doesn't.
Like what?
I don't know. Like, I don't know, maybe like because we're from New York or like the way we talk or how casual we are.
Right.
Like, they really don't know anything
Well, they
about
don't.
what we're actually like or
Well,
what
they
we've
don't. They
done.
they
So,
only
I
they
mean,
only
it's
know
just,
from us. They only
yeah,
know
very
about us.
small snippet of who
They
you
only know
think we
about us what
are.
they can discern from YouTube,
Right.
which is just a very small portion of the bigger picture. You know, we show you what we want to on YouTube, but we don't show you everything. It's just
Right. I've had a lot of experiences
a lot of
that we don't
experiences.
have never mentioned.
Well, like what?
Huh?
Like what?
I don't know, just like we have a lot, like I went to school. Like I've noticed like people think that we're uneducated, but I've gone to
Well,
school
I
and
have.
I've studied and I've done lots of things that I don't mention. So,
Well, yeah, obviously, but well, I mean, I got thrown out of school when I was 16, but I've been in business ever since. You know,
mm,
so the reason I'm able the reason I'm able to do this channel and I have this like body of experience is because I've never had a job. I got out of school, got thrown out of school when I was 16, and went immediately right to work. And it was only a year or two after that that I was in business. Not even a year or two after that, I was in business myself, fixing cars, my neighbors' cars, and stuff like that. I was making really good money when I was a teenager. So, and there, of course, there have been ups and downs and ups and downs. But I've been in business now. I'll be 61 next month, right? And I've been in business since I'm 16. So work that out. How many years is that? That's a lot of years. That's 45 years of being in business, and dealing with people and dealing with money and dealing with all of the ins and outs. And I've had How many businesses have we been in and out of?
Jeffrey sent you $1.
Thank you. So I've been in and out of countless businesses of all different types. We've had, I mean, we had an art gallery, for Christ's
We
sakes.
can sit here and talk about art history all night if you guys really feel like that.
Well, she could actually do an art history channel, but that's besides the point. She doesn't want to do stuff like that. But I mean, I've had many shops. I've had we've had 5 coffee houses. We've had the art gallery. Uh, I can't even remember all of the different things that we've done and been involved in over the years.
Can I paint a fish? I can paint a fish, Sarah.
And through it all, I've never lost money. Like there were endeavors that I went through that I didn't make any money, that were just like, okay, break even. But I have never once in my life, I've never once borrowed money, and I've never once like gone bankrupt or anything like that. Any business I ever walked away from was because I was, usually it's because I get bored. That's another guy. What's his name? The rebel capitalist.
Oh,
George Gammon.
yeah.
George Gammon is another one, another great guy. If you're interested in economics, George Gammon, the rebel capitalist.
But we don't know anything, so
But
don't ignore everything that we say.
he did
Completely.
he did a video a couple of weeks ago, and I watched it.
Go
and
watch
I'm like,
Jim Cramer.
oh, just don't. Yeah. So this guy George Gammon did a video a couple of weeks ago where he said he's tired, he's done with YouTube, and I was like, okay, well, I got to watch this because you know. So I'm watching it, and he's explaining that he started his channel 2 years ago, and it became successful. And as soon as it became successful, he lost interest in it. And that because it's the challenge of getting the channel up and going, and like getting it monetized and getting income from it, and doing all of the things, meeting the goals. And once he achieved the goal of having a successful channel, he got tired of it, and now he's going to completely regroup and do something completely different. And that's how I am. I love starting businesses. I love taking on a new challenge. And then once it matures, once it becomes like I don't have to like once the struggle is gone, you know what I mean? It's like, and it becomes like automatic, like where I know how much is going to come in, and I know how this is going to go and how that's going to go. I lose interest in it. And I'm
But
like,
you can tell by the way you talk
I'm done,
that you don't know anything.
and then I move on.
I feel my New York coming on. I should probably step away because I'm going to say something.
Why? What kind of comments you got?
No, I'm just saying. I feel it coming on, and I don't want to talk that way. So let's see. Ask Uncle Tony what the EEC4 lifestyle means.
EEC4 was a computer that was used in those 5-liter Mustangs, 86, 87, the early fuel injected Mustangs, the early 5.0s. That was the EEC4. That was the map sensor. Those are the map sensor cars. I think it was EEC5 when they went to the mass airflow. I could be wrong about that. I was doing funny cars at that point.
People would never talk to you like this in person.
Why? What'd they say?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just making a statement. Nobody's saying anything. I said people would never talk to you like this in person. Imagine people talking to you like this in person when we were growing up.
How are they talking to us?
No, I'm just saying, like, I could tell by how you talk. You don't know anything, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's see. Is the engine in Bottle Rocket going to stay in there a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to stay in there until it gives up.
Oh, geez. Okay, please say hello to Bob DiMartino.
Bob DiMartino!
Thank you.
How's it going, Bob?
Okay. Please, you don't have to write that anymore.
What was he writing?
Over and over and over and over. Usually, like, if somebody does that, I ignore it. But it just got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. Thanks, Bob DiMartino. Okay. Why did you have so many businesses? Didn't one do really well? No, I get bored.
I get bored.
I don't want to do the same thing all the time. I'm actually bored with YouTube. You ready to stop?
No,
Not yet.
YouTube
Okay.
presents YouTube presents enough of a challenge. It's a fun way to make a living, but it's a very challenging way to make a living. No, how can I explain it to you? It's the
Some
challenge,
people enjoy starting businesses. Like
right?
that's the point of it. Like
I
I'm
love
like
starting
that.
businesses,
I love to start businesses. I love to create things. I love to come up with logos and designs and think of how things are going to work and set up and all of that
right?
stuff. But then I also don't want to be in the same place every single day.
Right, right. I
That's why
can't
I
do the
always
same thing
like
over and over again.
freelance work. I always like to change where I am all the time. Like if I had to be in the same place every day for very long, I want to kill everybody. And that's not an exaggeration. Like you really like can't come near me because I
My
can't function like that.
my pattern for businesses is 2 years. Is 2 years. And my interest in the business generally peaks early on, between like 6 months and a year. I'm mostly into it. Like I'm because at that point I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's like gotta grow, gotta grow, gotta grow. Do this promotion, do that thing, do the other thing, right? And it's like, and I love that part of it. And then it becomes routine. And as soon as it becomes routine, I lose interest in it and I just move on.
I'll go crazy.
Because to some people, business, like to some people, the money itself is the goal. So it's like, well, why would you walk away from a successful business? Because it's not the money. I like making money is actually, it's kind of easy. Keeping money is difficult, but it's the challenge. It's the unknown. It's the risk. That's what I enjoy, and that's why I'll start a business. I'll run it for generally speaking 2 years. That's about my. Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, I guess.
About the second.
I used to go back like with the writing of the magazines. You would write magazines for a little while, and then you would go back and you would
But even
work
that
on
would last like
cars, and
two
then you would
years.
go back to write on magazines, and then you would go back and work on cars
Right.
because you don't like to do the same thing all the time.
I get bored really easy when the challenge is gone. When things become too predictable, I lose interest and I just want to do something else because life is too short to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Some
And
people like that. Some people like that stability. Some people find comfort in that thing that they do daily, every
yes,
single day.
some people yes,
Like
some people
they're
need
very
routine.
happy like that. But I will go absolutely freaking bonkers.
Exactly.
Like you
Exactly.
can't tie me down like that. Like I love freelance work where I see something different every day. I don't know. Like I don't think I could ever have a job. I don't think I could do it.
I could never have a job. I could never work a job.
Like I have worked a job in the past, but only for short periods of time
Right.
where I was just like, okay, I'm in between freelancing things or things, business things that I'm doing just
Yeah.
to make money. But like now at my age, no freaking way. No way. And to have somebody tell me what to do, I don't freaking think so.
To me, knowing how much money I'm going to make at the end of the week, I can't do it. I can't handle it. I need the challenge of not knowing. And I think that's the thing about YouTube. Okay, I think that's why YouTube has held my interest. I mean, I haven't really thought about this very much, but now that we're talking about it, I think YouTube has held my interest as much as it has, because every day is a new challenge. How much can I make today? Right? How many views can we get on this? But it's not the views, right? It's the length of the video. It's viewer retention. It's like there's a whole balancing act when you put out a video as to how much that video is going to make. What like your CPM, your RPM, and the algorithm is always changing, so that's always challenging. It's always challenging to come up with new ideas for videos, and you never know what you're going to make, because you'll put out a video and you'll say to yourself, this is going to skyrocket. Cat, just we're going to make so
And
much
I
money
always
on
say,
this
no, it's
video.
not.
And it goes nowhere. It just flatlines, and you're like, what the hell happened there? And then you do a stupid freaking video the stick welder battery thing. It took us 2 hours to do that video. We've netted $21,000 off of that one video. What? She's going, no.
Because I
Don't.
don't like to talk about money.
But I'm just saying, I don't want to talk about
Um,
money, but I'm just saying that one video. So that's what I'm saying. It's like a lottery ticket. Every day you throw the dice, and it's like, what is the YouTube thing going to do to you today? So that's what keeps me going with it.
but let's see. Let's lighten it up. Snake or mongoose?
I flipped back and forth. I like them both.
Mm. What's the limitations of a convertible when considering torque? 70 GTO at 455.
Couldn't tell you.
Let's see. I've paid money simple. I don't know. The unknown and the everyday adventure is why I enjoy truck driving. The missed family moments are the hardest part of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
that's a bitch.
Gen X had the best life growing up before computers. Love you 2-0.
I agree with that and I disagree at the same time. The computer has truly screwed society over, right? I mean, really bad. But at
Look
the
at how
same
people
time,
talk to each other.
yeah, but at the same time, it's given us opportunities and education, information. You have more information right now, like on your phone, right? You have more information right now than if you go back 100 years ago. If you go back 100 years ago to the dawn of time and you combine all of that information, well, you have more volume of information in your hands right now than existed in all previous human history. You know, what do you do with it? You know, I don't know. Some people watch cat videos. You know what I mean? Like,
Sang Lincoln says, what I don't understand is that they're saying now the average car payment is over $750 a month. Have people gone insane?
but this is what I'm saying. This is the end game of this system.
You can't tell people that, Tony.
Well, I mean,
You can't tell people that their $750 a month car payment isn't normal.
well, no, I know you can't tell them that because they don't want to hear it.
Right.
But the truth is, this is what the end of the system looks like. This is the mathematical end of the system.
But you don't know anything about finances, so
And
I
that's
don't know what you're talking
that's
about.
why you want to look at metals.
This is not financial information.
Open a door for them just in case now.
Break more stuff on camera.
I will.
People are paying these prices, which is helping propel this insanity onward.
But they're paying these prices by going deeper into debt. So,
Well, that's what they want to do. Let them do it.
but you can only service so much debt. So you
I
go
know
back.
that.
Go back to before 1971, right? Because 1971 was a
Are you
pivotal.
telling me or are you telling them?
No, them, right?
Okay.
Or just in general. 1971 was your pivotal year. Previous to 1971, it took one person working one job to support a middle class family of four, right? The 2.4 kids, that whole bit.
This is
And
not financial advice.
a house, a car, all the bills, right? It took one person working one job. Then you got to the 1970s, and it took that same person working the full-time job and a part-time job. Then you got to the 1980s, and then two people needed to work in order to support that same lifestyle. Now you get to the 1990s, and now it takes two people working two full-time jobs plus side hustles, plus always rolling the equity, always playing the debt game to stay ahead. So now you're at this stage of the game where it's like people have literally given up on working. You can't just help wanted signs everywhere, and the people who are currently working are in the process of quiet quitting. And quiet quitting is just where you're there for the most. Yeah, I show up, pay me, I'll do the bare minimum to get by, and then I'm going to go home. And that's what you can't go to a fast food place and get an order correct anymore. She went and
Oh
she
my
went.
God, please.
She went yesterday.
No,
day before,
no.
a couple of days ago. She
No,
goes to
before we went to the track. I was like, I have to eat
parties.
something before we go to the track.
Right.
So I go in there, and there's a lady waiting next to me, and I order my food, 2 hamburgers and a drink.
Well, specific now. What kind of hamburgers?
Two plain hamburgers.
Nothing
on it.
Nothing on it.
So she's waiting, and I'm watching her, and finally they bring her burger out after 10 minutes, and she opens it to check it, and there's no burger on the bun. So she calls everyone in the back, and everybody's like in la la land, like they're like walking around like they're not even at work, zombies. So they go back there, and I guess she talks to them, gives them a talking to, and then they bring her food out again, like another 10 minutes later.
Right.
So I'm standing
And
there.
every time you're waiting
I'm
for
like,
two
oh my
plain
gosh,
hamburgers.
we have to go to the track. He's gonna kill me. I'm standing here waiting for 2 freaking hamburgers. So they finally bring me my bag of burgers. I have my drink. I grab it. I run out and I run to the truck because I'm like, we're late. I've been in here for like 20 minutes waiting for burgers. What kind of burgers did they give me, Tony?
Cheeseburgers with mustard and and ketchup and all
And
kinds of other
onions
stuff. And onions and right.
lettuce,
Yeah.
right?
Because you ordered 2 plain hamburgers.
well, I didn't take that very well.
But this is the state of society. This is everywhere across the board.
Jeffrey sent you $1.49.
Thank you.
It's really bad. It's like I don't know how we're functioning anymore. Let's see. They know you're going to leave, get far away, and you won't drive back. Well, that's what happened. We couldn't turn around.
But that's besides the point. But how difficult is it to take a bun, take a hamburger, put it on the bun, and then take the top of the bun and put it on there? They actually had to work extra hard and use extra material to give her the wrong order.
They just don't care, and they have no manners whatsoever.
They're
like, here's your stuff, and they throw the bag at you. I'm like, oh my God.
This is end game, not capitalism. Capitalism is the natural order, right? So when I say this is the end of the game for this system, I don't mean it's the end of capitalism. Capitalism will always be here. It's nature. Capitalism is nature.
Says we're functioning, but just barely.
This is the end of predatory capitalism. So you're in for a rocky ride, guys.
Advice.
You're in for a rocky ride.
Competence is a long word. We don't know big words here.
No. Of course not. We got thrown out of school.
We're very stupid people.
Very stupid.
Let's see. That confused them out of the norm. 2 plain hamburgers with nothing on them. That confused them. I really try not to be mean. Like, I have a lot of patience. But it's getting to the point now where, like, anything that I do is virtually impossible. And then when it does happen, it's like, oh my goodness, how is this even, like, done this way? And I'm trying not to be mean, but it's really bad.
It is what it is.
Yeah, who orders hamburgers? Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh my goodness. This is central planning at its worst. No pride. Yes, that is right, Rev Randall. No pride. They don't care about what kind of work they do.
Because there's no incentive, right? Now you can blame. You could say you could say each individual. You could take each individual case and say, well, okay, well, this person is just lost, right? But collectively, the current workforce does not have incentive. They're not born with incentive, because the things that kept us going, like previous generations, my generation and the one or two after, we knew we were going to own our cars, we were going to have our toys, we were going to own our houses, we were going to own this, we were going to own that, we were going to have control over our lives if we worked. But the current generation comes into it and they're hopeless. They know they'll never own anything. They know that this job is not going to pay them enough to do anything more than make their car payment to go to and from.
They don't even know public behavior. Like, they don't even know how to talk to a customer. Like, it's like the most insane thing I've ever experienced. Stang Lincoln says, I work in retail, and you would not believe how many times, hang on, it's jumping. They hire somebody, and then they never show up.
Oh, sure.
Again. Crazy. It's crazy. I'm just sighing. $15 per hour should be incentive enough.
Nope. Do the math.
I know, when we were kids, we had multiple jobs. Who had one job? In New York City, where
Always
everything
hustling.
was expensive.
Always
Everybody was
hustling.
always hustling.
Always hustling.
Constantly. It was like everywhere you looked, it's like, oh, can we make money here? What can we do here?
Well, this is the first time in my life that I've only had one gig going. So since we started doing YouTube, this is all I do, because there's no time for anything else. And it pays well enough. But up until this point in my life, I always had 2 businesses going at the same time. I had my day business and I had my night business. So during the day, whatever car thing I was doing, and then at night, whatever night thing I was doing, a coffee house or whatever it would happen to be. So I'm used to working 2 gigs every day, 7 days a week. That sounds crazy, right?
Yeah. UT, please don't become bored with UTG channel, please. We love you and Kathy. Oh, that's nice.
And I love you guys too. Believe me when I tell you, what we offer our viewers is always at the forefront of my thoughts. Like, is this going to be valuable in some way, right? So, I mean, even if it's just as an entertainment thing or a diversion, open a door for a puppy's got to go out. I hey puppies. Um, I get up in the morning, right, and I'm thinking about, okay, what are we going to do today for the channel, right? And there's a bunch of different ideas that I've got going through my head, and I always say to myself, is there value in this, right? You know, is there value? Is it either something that somebody's going to learn from this, or are they going to get a laugh out of this, or is this going to get people's wheels turning? You know, make them think, right? So it's like, so for me, providing value is like job one, right? Because I appreciate you guys. I mean, I really, really, we both do.
Absolutely. What's your opinion on the central bank digital currency?
I don't think it's going to happen. I
I
don't.
think so.
It's okay. The CBDCs are they're a pipe dream. Okay, it can't. It's okay. Yes, they can introduce a CBDC. Yes, they can stuff everybody's wallet with it to get the ball rolling, and they're going to have to. But the essential problem with it is that as soon as they try to exercise any sort of control or restriction on the free flow of currency, underground currencies are going to pop up. So the only way a CBDC could work, think about this now, right? Think about this, because there's so much CBDC fear mongering out there. But think about this. The only way a CBDC could actually work the way the fear mongers are presenting it is if every single man, woman, and child on the planet, or if we're only talking about in this country, has a cell phone. The cell phone is always charged. They have reception every place they go. That there's no glitches in that system. That's the only way that it can function. Yeah, I know we all have cell phones, and we have cell phone service pretty much everywhere. But your phone, you leave your phone at home, the battery goes dead. You drop it, the screen does whatever. There's too many flaws to.
Right, but you know what the answer is to that, what people will come up with.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
yeah, no, that's not going to happen either. They're like digitally implanted. Yeah, you'll get a couple of yahoos that are going to sign up. There's portions of the population that are sheep that will just sign up for any freaking thing that the government throws at them. But by and large, ain't going to happen. The underground economy, if they were to set up a CBDC the way people are saying there's going to be set up, the underground economy would instantly overwhelm the overground economy. People would use anything they could for barter, for side deals. You would have regional currencies come up. If all of a sudden there was a CBDC and everybody was enforced to do it, I could tell you right now, like I live in Middle Tennessee, there would be a Rutherford County currency. There would be a Nashville currency. There would be, because that's the way it was. Okay, we're used to one currency, so we're all used to dealing in the dollar. We're all used to dealing in the greenback. Okay, but if you go back to pre-Civil War eras, each of the states had their own currencies. The biggest issue of the Civil War, the purpose of the Civil War, was to unify the currencies to get everybody on the same currency standard as they had up north, more specifically New York. So you had the Virginia currency, the Tennessee currency, you had the South Carolina currency. All of these, hey, all of these different states had their own currencies, and they all had different values. And it's actually within the Constitution that's what it is. So right now, as of right now, I think there's 26 states. Hey, Maggie, as of right now, there's, I believe, 26 states that have reclaimed their constitutional right to money. Tennessee is one of them. 3 months ago, 4 months ago, they removed sales tax from any transaction in gold and silver. And now, just this last month, or a couple of weeks ago. Now the state of Tennessee is accepting gold and silver as legal tender, and there's 26 other states that have also done this. This is all in preparation for the Federal Reserve note to go flat.
Jonathan Couchy sent you $10.
Thank you, John.
FRNs.
FRNs, the Federal Reserve note.
Tony, I understand your theory on torque with the 318 heads. 188 valves offer close to zero deshrouding on inner 318. Hang on, it's jumping.
Yeah.
I always thought torque is velocity slash CC, which would be very attainable with 188 heads.
It would be, but we're talking about engines that are going to operate at a lower. My goal with that engine was maximum punch at 3,000 RPM, 4,000 RPM. I do not care what it makes at 50. I don't care what the peak numbers are. The peak numbers are utterly meaningless to me. I care about punch, right? I want the motor to have the best geometry. I want the heads to have the highest, or the intake and exhaust track to have the highest velocity. And I want the nitrous to hit it all at that magic number between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM and send the car. And so, yeah, I would definitely, I'm probably giving up 75, at least 75 horsepower on the top end by sticking with the smaller valves. But look at the mid-range punch that thing has. And that's what I'm concerned with. Because, and this is important now, the car is set up to run the 8th mile. Okay? And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't get a grasp on that. If you're building something for the 8th mile, you're building it differently than you're building it for a quarter mile. You're tuning it differently. It's a different philosophy. If you're building something that has to run the entire quarter, now your higher RPM numbers become very important. But for the 8th, and especially on a nitrous car, which doesn't need a lot of RPM, it wants to be in that, it wants to be tugged, it wants to be loaded down. So that combination is in that car to run that way. Does that make any sense?
Okay, so, okay, you have another super chat.
Yes, thank you.
Dada Le Breton
Hey, Dada.
sent you 550 Canadian,
Thank you.
not FRNs.
Not FRNs.
Can you explain how to choose a good combination from tires, slicks versus gear ratio according to the trans ratio and engine rev at the end of track?
Well, there are formulas for that. I mean, you just Google RPM, gear, and Google gear calculator. I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's dozens of them, where you can input all of your all of your data. So engine's going to make maximum power here. It's going to spin to this RPM. What size tire? What gear? Weight? There's calculators up the wazoo for that. Can you hold them going for a minute? I gotta hit the little boys room.
Jeffrey Diffie sent you $1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
I'll be right back.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. I'm listening.
No, go ahead, go,
okay.
run, and I'll hold it. Okay. Sorry, everybody. This is a intermission.
Nope.
Don't let the dogs out. Okay. Scott Kuhn, he's coming back in 1 second. Let's see. Oh, it just got so quiet, didn't it? Let's see. Brett McIntyre, did you say Bottle Rocket has a spool? I think it does, Brett. I'll ask him when he comes out. Wait. Oh my goodness, this is skipping so fast. It won't let me send but $1 or 50. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. That's weird. But we appreciate the $1. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm just basking in the quietness right now. It's really nice. He'll be back in 1 second. Change that. Let's see. Scott Kuhn. Tony's coming right out. Could Bottle Rocket's shift problem be from the sudden RPM spike from losing traction? Let's see. Here he comes. He'll answer that.
Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me?
Oh, you let the dogs out. I just got them in the house.
I'm sorry.
I can't.
Maggie.
All right, Stacoon sent you $5.
Thank you.
I'm gonna kill you if you let the dogs out. Okay.
Who let the dogs out?
Could
Who?
Bla-
Who?
could Bottle Rocket's shift problem be from the sudden RPM spike from losing traction? I'm gonna get the dogs back.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. The shift problem was it rattled the tires when I shifted second. I didn't know it was spinning the tires when I was driving the car, and I knew it was a little like this, right? But I didn't realize it was spinning the way it was. It was black tracking. So when I shifted second, the shutter wasn't from the transmission. The shutter was from the tires. Which, by the way, anytime that happens, check your axles. Because when you get a shudder through the car like that, the axle is oscillating like crazy. And that's one of the things, before I take Bottle Rocket back out again, I got to slide the axles out, and I got to inspect around the splines just to make sure that there aren't any fractures there because of that. But yeah, what I thought was the transmission shuddering was actually the tires doing this.
Let's see. It was so quiet when you were in the bathroom.
Was it?
Very peaceful.
Did you miss me?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Of course I missed you. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's see. I respect Tony's information. It would put me at ease on my engine assembly. Jeffrey. Okay, so Jeffrey sent you $1. He says he can only send you $1 or $50.
$1 is fine, my brother. What?
Yeah, we appreciate that. He did send you $1, but I don't know if he asked another question, because sometimes the question doesn't go with the super chat. So I'm scrolling now. Let's see. Oh, somebody asked me if you have a spool. Do you have a spool in Bottle Rocket?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Billy Bob Holcomb. He always tells me I'm doing a great job. I really appreciate that. My monologue time? No, I don't call it monologues.
Yeah, Bottle Rocket has a spool.
What did we do for Easter today? We went to Uncle Crystal's. Okay, Jeffrey sent another $1. Okay, but there's no question with it, Jeffrey. Move the camera. Oh, did you just roll a cigarette?
I rolled it down low. You couldn't see it.
Yes, it's a glass table. He's so brilliant.
Okay, maybe I am an idiot.
I make fun of Tony all the time. He does stuff like that. All right.
It's such a nice night.
It's beautiful.
The air is perfect.
Jeffrey, I'm looking for, a comment from you. Quick roll. I'm looking. Brett says you guys are the best. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Brett. We appreciate that. Easter is a ham holiday. No, what did we have? We had
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Oh, barbecue.
Our son barbecued. He's a really good.
Well, he grilled.
He grilled. It's different than barbecuing. Sorry. It's my ignorance.
Yes. Well, remember, you're in the South now. There's a difference between barbecue and grilling.
I know. I get it. Mr. One Assassinator sent you 99 cents and he's crying. Don't cry.
Don't cry. We'll make it better.
Boogalar 66 sent you $1. He's not crying, but I don't see, there's no question with their...
They're just randomly sending money.
Jeffrey. Okay, Jeffrey says, oh my goodness, this question is like in 2 sections. It only looks like half a question. Okay, is 0.002 enough main bearing clearance for a 450 horsepower 383 SBC?
That's tight.
Okay.
That's tight.
Thank God.
I'd want to see closer to 3.
Okay, so I now need to look for a question from Mr. One Assassinator, who's crying, and Boogalar 66. I wonder why.
So whenever I have a crank cut for myself, not if I'm doing it for somebody else, I'm playing around with somebody else's engine or building somebody else's engine, but whenever I have a crank cut for myself, I always specify 1111, right? Or 2121, whatever it's going to be cut. I always specify an extra thousandth in the cut because I like the extra oil clearance.
Oh, New Guys Garage is here. What's up?
What's happening, man? How you doing? Taking on the trolls.
Oh,
dude, I want you on my
gracious.
team. I want you on my team. You're a fun guy.
Oh. You know, I can't find their any question from them. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably messing up. Mm, okay, let's see. Rev Randall says I had a 54 Plymouth Belvedere, flat six, 3-speed with pull-out overdrive, tire burner deluxe, and hold the mail. Tony, ever play with a flathead six?
I have not, but I do love those engines. But no, I've never actually played with one.
Dr. Art is here. Hello,
Dr.
everyone.
Art, what's happening, brother man?
Let's see.
I
Fungi.
enjoyed that trip yesterday, the
Yeah,
visit
very
yesterday.
nice. Hey, one coward at a time, New Guys Garage says. It's crazy. Let's see. What viscosity do you run with those clearances? Wayne wants to know.
It really just depends on what you're looking to achieve.
Wait, Mr. One Assassinator says I was not crying. I pressed on an icon by mistake when I sent it.
Oh,
Oh, good.
thank
I'm
God.
glad you're not crying, Mr. One Assassinator. You sound too tough to cry with that name. Okay, go ahead.
The thickness of the oil really depends on. Well, there's a lot of factors. Um, I go by what kind of pressure am I trying to achieve, because I'm not a big oil pressure guy. I don't believe in excess oil pressure because it's just waste. It makes it's pumping losses. It it's parasitic losses through the pump. It it raises the temperature of the oil. There's a lot of reasons why I prefer a lower oil pressure engine. So what I do is I shoot for 7 pounds for every 1,000 RPM. So I'll start, let's say, with a straight 40, just for the sake of just throw a number out. I'll start with a straight 40, and if I'm seeing too much oil pressure in the lower half, right? Because your ultimate oil pressure is governed by the bypass in the pump. But I'll look at my lower range oil pressure, and if I see too much there, I'll go to a thinner oil, and I'll just keep dropping the weight of the oil until I get the result that I'm looking for. Which at idle I want to see like 5 to 7 pounds of oil pressure. Now that's not for everybody. Don't you know what I mean? Like people go like, Uncle Tony says you should only have 5 pounds of oil pressure. No, that's me. That's me. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. A lot of people aren't comfortable with that, but that's fine. So what I do is I start off and I just keep decreasing the thickness of the oil until I get the lower range pressure that I'm looking for. Because like I said, the top end pressure is always regulated by the bypass in the pump. So that's what I go by.
Okay, let's see.
By the way, if it's a hydraulic lifter motor, you need a minimum of 7 pounds to keep the lifters happy.
Will says just subscribe to your channel. Thank you,
Thank you.
Will. We hope we don't
Welcome,
disappoint
welcome
you.
to the insanity.
Welcome. Let's see. Anthony P says every engine that I had that had 5 psi or less at idle revved like a 2-stroke and went hard.
Yep,
Crazy 77 says shout out from Nebraska.
it's happening in Nebraska.
Let's see. Jeffrey says I've been behind 20 minutes, I guess. Sorry. No, it's okay. Like, I am sorry that I don't know why I'm not seeing everybody's comments. Sometimes it's really hard to keep up. Have you ever read Racing the Early Hemi by Gene Adams?
Well, Gene Adams gave me my first nitro tune-up when I was like in my 20s. I was setting up. I had a blown fuel 392 that I built, and Gene Adams gave me my first baseline tune-up. Here, use these nozzles and this, that and the other thing. I was for a period of time, like I'm going to say like in 1989, 1990, 1991 or so, I was very involved in early Hemi stuff. And I studied a lot of stuff that Adams had done. One of the things that I learned the most from, right? And I can't remember the specifics now on this. I can't remember the specifics because remember, we were talking about 30 years ago, right? But they built a car. Adams and Enriquez had a car called the Double Eagle. This was in 1970, right? Um, and it was two injected 354 Hemis, and they were running it in top fuel. And they had a lot of issues with that particular setup, right? And they tried all different phasings of the engines, to get both cylinders, number one cylinders to fire simultaneously, and then they just swapped it all over the place, and they couldn't keep it clean, right? So on paper, it made enough power to do the job, but in reality, it wasn't as strong as a single engine car with a blower, and it didn't make any sense. So I studied that car extensively, and I picked Gene Adams' brain about that car extensively, because there were principles at work there, and there were other similar combinations too. Like for instance, there was a guy named Knife Frank that ran a car called the Pulsator, that was two injected small block Chevys, and there was Junior Brogdon's Phony Pony from 1967, and that ran two injected 289s. And then there was the Double Eagle car from Adams and Enriquez, and each of those cars suffered from the same issues. And like I said, this is a point that I was really starting. I was trying to learn as much as I could about nitro, and studying those cars and the things, the evolutions that they went through, taught me so much. It was amazing. And like I said, at that time, around 1989, 1990, I really picked Gene Adams' brain on that, and I learned a lot. Not just about nitro, but it gave me a really clear, a much clearer understanding of internal combustion dynamics that really applies across the board.
Hmm.
If you want to learn, right, you don't study successful things. Never study anything that's successful, because you'll never learn from something that's successful. Study things that failed, right, and then figure out why they failed, and then find the common denominators. So I took the examples of three unblown nitro motors, three unblown nitro combinations that all had similar problems, and then by comparing the states of evolution of those three combinations and seeing what the ultimate fixes were, or at what point they abandoned, and the similarities between them, that's where you learn. That's how I learned.
Failure is an excellent teacher.
What's that?
Failure is an excellent teacher.
Absolutely.
Success is not a teacher.
No. If you really want to learn something, you got to put your ego aside, right? Because your ego is always telling you, you must succeed. You must succeed. You cannot fail, right? Your ego is always telling you that. So if you really want to learn, if you want to have an experience, you have to park your ego. You have to take your ego and say, no, just shut up.
I think of a shelf. I have a shelf in my mind.
Okay.
And if I have something that's stopping me,
Right.
I take that thing that's bothering me and I just stick it on the shelf.
Okay.
So it's always there. You can't get rid of it.
Right.
It's always there, but you say, this is where you belong right now.
Right.
Let me focus.
Well, that's
and that
one,
always works for me mentally. I have a shelf.
That's one way of doing it, for sure. But like I said, you got to take your ego and say, go away, right? I'm going to do this thing, and the results are going to be what the results are going to be, and I'm going to learn from these results. The problem with doing anything like mechanically, especially with hot rods, because everything is just so ego driven. Everything is just so like you just need to put that away, right? There is no ego. There is no winning. There is no losing. There's nothing. There's only learning. You know what I mean? And it's like at that point you embrace failure, and it's like, I'm cool with failure. A lot of people don't understand that. They're like, you blow stuff up? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Well, because I'm learning from that. I'll never learn anything about, let's just say, for example, I'll never learn anything about connecting rod construction or limits or anything like that by having a connecting rod that just lives. But if I toss a connecting rod, well, now I can go back and I can see all of the factors that added up to that failure by dissecting it, and then I've learned something. See? That's the difference.
I think sometimes people don't understand nerdiness.
No.
Nerdiness is something that you really can't explain to somebody, and like how you really don't care about anything else, and you kind of just want to learn about certain things,
And that's
and
all I
nothing
want.
else exists. So I think that a lot of times people can't grasp like when the nerd factor kicks in. And our whole lives are pretty nerdy.
The nerd
We're
factor,
very
exactly.
nerdy.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I don't care if I win or lose. I mean, obviously, it's always better to win than it is to
Well,
lose.
yeah,
Duh.
obviously.
Okay. But to me, that's not it. To me, it's what did I learn from this experience? You know what I mean? What data did I gain? What new, you know what I mean? What new ideas do I have? Right? That see, to me, that's the reward. I'm
Ryan
always
says
trying to
we're
learn.
car people. Of course, we're nerds. Not all car people are nerds. Some
No,
car people are nerds.
the car people that follow this channel are nerds
Yeah,
for sure.
right. But like,
For sure.
not everybody.
But no, there's a lot of ego out there, and it's just, and that's fine. That's fine. That's their thing.
Franco says he's got a smiley face with a cowboy hat. Tony, you must have learned a ton with Dale Barlett.
Dale was the dumbest, most arrogant human I've ever
nice.
encountered. What's that?
I said be nice.
I am. That is being nice. That is being nice. And Franco will back me up. Dale was the most arrogant, ignorant, like and like this is the guy that owned Predator Carburetors. People always ask me about Predator Carburetors. He owned Predator. He was Predator Carburetors. People, Dale Barlett came from another
Franco
universe entirely. What's that?
Franco's laughing.
Franco, am I exaggerating even a little bit?
That's why he said that, obviously.
Franco, I got him.
This is why people want to talk to us.
Franco. So here's what happened, right? I hooked up with him. He had just gotten out of the house. He was in the hospital for like 6 months in a burn unit. They pulled him out of the car. He had a fire at Englishtown. You remember the fire? I'm sure you remember the fire, right? We were all there when it happened. And they left him in the car because they thought he was freaking dead, okay? Because he wasn't moving. So they left him in the freaking car while they pulled the car off to the side, right? But in the meantime, he was alive, and it was baking like a potato in the freaking car. So when they pulled him out of the car, his fire suit came apart, and all of the skin from the back of his neck to his ankles stayed in the car, okay? So, yeah, he was a mess. So he was in the hospital for like 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was. And then he wanted to rebuild the car. So he couldn't get anybody to work for him. Nobody wanted to touch this thing. And I was like, here's a challenge I could take. So I went to work for him. And he had the shop over in Toms River. And I guess it was about 3 nights a week over the winter. All right. I went and I put the whole freaking car back together again. So here's what happened, right? Barlett had never, ever qualified at an NHRA event. Never, right? So the first event, we get the car back together again, and it's the Grand Nationals in what's that country to the north? Canada. It's the Molson Grand Nationals, and I got him qualified 15th. Right? There were like 19 cars on the premises. I got him qualified 15th. So the last run, right? He's in the show. I'm in shock, right? I'm in shock. And Nick Bonifant walks up to me. So Nick knew me as just like a grunt around the pits, right? So Nick walks over to me and he shakes my hand and he says, "Congratulations, you just did what no man has ever been able to do. You got Dale Barlett qualified at a national event and he's not on fire." He says, "I got work for you if you want it." I said, "Send it." And that was a turning point for me. That was in 1991, I think it was. And then from that point, Nick kept hooking me up with different jobs with different cars. So, this dragster was traveling through. It needed a clutch guy. This funny car was coming through. It needed a diver. This guy was just starting out, and he needs somebody to just get him tuned up, get him started out. So that my experience with Dale Barlett turned the nitro thing into I was making money with it. It was great.
Joe K sent you $5.
Thanks, Joe.
Any experience of repelling squirrels? I found 4 nests in 3 months in 2 cars. One of them gets driven regularly. I fixed several chewed wires already. Yikes.
Oh, God, I don't know, man. You're going to have to Google that one. I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
Squirrels?
it happens. Mice and squirrels.
Well, mice, yes. But Never squirrels.
So yeah, Franco, that's my Dale Barlett story.
But you don't like him anyway.
Oh no, he was okay. So Franco, we're coming back from this race. We're in Canada, right? And I couldn't tolerate being around him to the point that I made him pull over on the side of the road. I made him pull over, and I got out of the truck in Canada, and I hitchhiked back to New York City.
That's stupid, Tony. Why would you do that?
But I couldn't go another inch with this guy. I could not go. It was either I kill him and leave his body on the side of the freaking road, or I get out and hitchhike. And I did. I got out and I hitchhiked back from
I wonder if he
from
watches
Canada.
you now.
I hope he's dead. I hope he's dead.
Tony!
No, he's a real piece of shit. He is a piece of shit. She's going like,
I'm not going to read anymore if that's how you're going to behave.
sorry. Go ahead.
Would you give this man a ride? Let's see. Professor Gins, very loud, high-frequency sounds will keep the rodents away. 20,000 hertz. Humans can't hear it, but animals will stay away.
See, there's always a nitro guy has the answer.
What was the name of his funny car?
Oh, what the fuck is his name? He had the Predator thing on the side of it. What the hell was the name of the car? This the Eagle, the Sentry. I don't even know. It was the Eagle something or other.
Okay, I think it's 9 o'clock.
Is it? We'll go for a few more minutes.
Oh, it's after 9. It's 9:10.
It's a nice night. I know you want to just whenever you're ready to pull the plug.
It's been a long day.
I know.
Oh, Franco says Iron Eagle.
Iron Eagle, that was it. It was an Eagle something.
Never
or other.
heard of it.
I never heard of it.
The Iron Eagle?
I wrenched on it.
Okay. I'm playing, Tony. Tony, which came first, eggs or Mopars?
Probably eggs.
Simmer down now. What is that noise?
Somebody hammering on something.
Not the War Eagle, that was Poldy.
That was Poldy.
Good night, Clayton Schoolbox. So, Tony, why do you get so mad? Why do you get so wound up?
These were very intense times that we're talking
But
about.
it's not
here.
intense now.
No, but looking back, you recall the intensity of the moment, and you go there. It's just a thing.
Franco says, Tony, did Nick hand you an apple to shove in Dale's mouth?
No.
Oh, Franco, that's bad. Oh, that's bad.
At one point, we took some hot dogs and a chicken leg, raw chicken leg, and we taped them to the roll cage of the car.
You messed up. That's messed up.
Wait, that's what we did at St. Air. The second.
Times are getting too dark, Digital Sharecropper says. It's not gunshots. It's not gunshots.
Yeah. We
Franco's laughing.
we went to the concession stand and got a couple of raw hot dogs, and I think it was like 1 or 2 chicken legs, and we duct taped them to the roll cage just to send them a message.
Good night, 2 hacks.
Good night, brother.
Oh my goodness. Laugh out loud, you messed up. Who messed up? I don't know. It would be gunshots around where I live for sure. Buenas noches, territory. Good night, Jeff. Okay, they're all done. They're saying good night to one another.
You all saying good night?
The black helicopters are back. Well, if Tony keeps talking like that, Kathy, please ask Tony the question from the Screaming Seaman. I don't see it. I don't see it. Love the Pinion Crush sleeve info, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, good. These are new people that got to hear you, like, rant.
That's okay. It's okay. I don't care. I am who I am.
Tony, do you ever get burned out? How do you deal with that?
I've been burned out for
He
years.
comes on YouTube Live and rants. That's how he deals with it.
No, no lie, bro. I've been burned out for years.
Yeah, we're kind of burned out. Not gonna
I
lie.
haven't had a day off
We
since like
work like
1987,
last night.
1988.
Last night, what happened? You were working. You were working. Everything on the TV is always YouTube or YouTube related or like channel related or idea related. And I was doing something and I was trying to take my mind off of work for a minute. And like he said something and I'm like, you always working. Stop working. Can we talk about something other than work? And then I went to bed and I fell asleep. But yeah, Ryan Van Dillen sent you $10.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, no, it's work all the time, 24/7, and like sometimes I get burnt out.
I'm burnt out. I mean, I'm being honest with you, but I've been burnt out for a long time. I've been in a very
Good night,
low.
Ryan. He
been
says
in-
good night. You guys are awesome. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ryan.
Ryan. I've been in a low ebb for like the last, I guess, couple of years, I guess. Because usually I'm pretty spontaneous. I'm pretty active. But lately, no. I've just been like going through the motions, waiting for something interesting to happen.
Well, sometimes things are like that. Everything is, hills and valleys. Like nothing ever
Yes.
goes in a straight line.
Yes.
And I think people don't grasp that either.
No.
Like it's always like they're always pounding their fists on the table, like do this, do that. Why aren't you doing this? And it's like, oh my God, somebody kill me. Like, what do they expect us to do? We're two people. It's like it's kind of crazy, but yeah.
But I wouldn't trade it for the world.
He looks pretty happy after the Casper race. Professor Ginn said he
There
was happy.
Yeah, I definitely was happy. How could you not be? I mean, Andy and Casper are a more than formidable opponent.
Chris
So it's
Greenaway says I'm the guy who burned you out.
you and your Montego may have burned me out a little. No, I'm joking, bro. I'm joking.
It's funny.
But every time I see a Montego, bro, I think of you. You've implanted yourself in my head.
Let's see. I find it strange that they are building warehouses everywhere, but you can hardly find a part for what you need.
There's trade things going
There's
on.
lots of strange things.
There's well, it's just like the stuff that was happening with the ports. You remember they were blaming it on the shutdowns, right? You know, the lockdowns, okay? When all of the ports, the ships were backed up and all of that. That had nothing to do with the ports. That had to do with the type of payments that were being accepted, and there was a lot. It was all economic. It was all economic. It was all weirdness, and it's gonna get much weirder, much weirder.
New Guys Garage says, well, if we get on a live, we can have a laugh and lift the mood up a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. I'm getting the biggest kick out of you with these trolls. This is fun stuff.
Okay, but wait, that one thing that I saw, I was like, oh my God, that's not funny. That's not even a little
DNR
fun.
racing?
Oh my God, like completely lost it. For what? No reason, just crazy. Like, that's like, call the cops.
That's
Like,
one of the
that's
interesting.
scary.
But you see, that's one of the interesting things about YouTube that I like. You see these people and how unhinged they are, and it's like I get a kick out of them being so unhinged. She's horrified by it, you know.
Well,
But
I'm
when
a
you watch
sensible
somebody,
human being, or at least I like to think of myself as being quite sensible. But when I see things like that, I'm like, that's not even like bad behavior. That's just off the chain. That is like not acceptable.
he snapped. He snapped.
Yeah, for no reason. Like literally no reason. Like you just started getting uppity one day, and then it was like, I don't know. People just get crazy. I have no idea. I wish him well. I hope he recovers, because that's not healthy.
See, and I get the
And
biggest
it's not
kick
healthy
out of
for
it.
me to read that either.
Yeah.
YouTube is crazy. I don't feed the animals, Unity says. Andy says. Andy, I honestly, like, I agree with you. I wouldn't even mention them one bit. But Tony seems to enjoy it, so I kind of have to put up with it.
Well, I figure it this way: if you're going to be in somebody's head, right? Really be in their head. If they're that jacked
See,
up.
but I would really be in their head, but never ever mention them. Like I would make sure that I would say things that would bother them, but never even mention that I acknowledge their existence.
No,
I
to.
like to do things subtly. Let's see. Who has the energy to type angry YouTube comments? Laugh out loud. Lots of people, Jeremy.
Jeremy,
Lots of people.
go to New Guy's Garage, right? That's his channel. Go to New Guy's Garage and look at the video he posted yesterday or the day before, and the stuff that, because that's the level of craziness we have with our trolls. Our trolls are the most dedicated people on earth. I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say deranged.
Well, they're deranged too. Our trolls are the most dedicated people on earth. Okay, if you've never done YouTube, if you've never been there's nothing that could prepare you for the level of just over the top insanity. There's a clique of people that literally watch every single one of our videos and make things up as they go along. It's like they make up a story. It's like I can explain it to you.
My Project Cars says I don't have any trolls yet. Can't wait until I have some.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. I feed off of this stuff. Some people don't. Some people are like, oh, don't just ignore the trolls; they'll go away.
I don't feed off of it.
I see. I feed off of it. I love
don't.
it.
I think it's rude. I don't like it.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
It's not right.
But they're there and they're a fact of
really
life, so you might as well enjoy it.
I've never talked to anybody in my life like that, especially somebody that I don't even know. It's crazy. Let's see. The angry about stupid things issue is the hard part. Like, yeah, we make videos. Crazy. We make videos about cars. It's not even anything controversial.
There's about 20 of them, right? There's about a New Guy's Garage. Am I making this up? There's about 20 of them, and they literally watch every single video we do, and they like all get together and I can't even explain it to you. I can't even explain it. It's like they make up a character. It's like they make up a character, they make up a story, and I can't even begin to explain. But it's a solidified clique of about 20 people.
I got yelled at in an email about the flag.
Oh, jeez.
Today, from somebody from the army that hung it up. He didn't like how it was hung. He screamed at us.
We had a windstorm come through the shop, and it blew one of the flags. Each of the flags that's hanging up in the shop is each held. It hangs off 2 nails. Each one hangs off of 2 nails. A windstorm came through the shop and knocked one corner of one of the flags off, and I didn't notice it. I just didn't notice it, and it was in the background. If I had seen it, I would have fixed it. Actually, I saw it, went to fix it afterwards, and I don't have the ladder there to get up there.
Yes, here at the house.
But that's besides the point. They freaked out, right? It's like, well, I mean, shit.
Got screamed at in an email. Someone took the time to send an email to scream at us about the way the flag was hanging.
Right,
like I need that. Sorry, but seriously, I don't need that. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. We don't make that much money, to be honest.
I'm making up to be happy.
People are lame and crazy. Okay. Kevin says, I'm quitting my day job and starting a UTG conspiracy channel. Kevin, you'll have followers immediately. You'll start making money like pretty soon, like because people will come and watch your videos.
Yep. We have a level of trolls. I don't see any. I don't know if other people have.
I think they do have them. They just keep them under wraps and they never mention them. We do mention them. I mention
them.
It's a fake. What's a fake? UTG lied to us all, Ari says.
Yes, it's all I do. It's my job to lie to you.
And yeah, we lost that race on purpose.
Oh, please. There's a whole conspiracy around the race.
We lost it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was all CGI.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let me know. I will follow. Everybody wants to follow the channel. This is not conspiracy advice. I'll follow and watch, they say.
Well, new guy's garage. I mean, he's already on this. He's already on this.
Kathy, don't give anyone any ideas. Haha. Yeah. Well, look, they do it anyway. There's no ideas that I could give them. Birds are fake. They're really listening devices for the new AI. Yes. New guy's garage. I fight crazy with well choreographed, detail oriented, brain busting comebacks, and then they hide. Ha ha ha. You know, I really wish you luck with that because I don't know. Some of them are just like.
But he's having fun with it
Right now.
Oh, he'll have
This
even more
is the
fun.
beginnings of it. He's having fun with it right now.
I could tell the guy. I could tell the type of guy that he is. I watched a little bit of his stuff. I could tell the kind of guy that he is. He's exactly the one to like have fun with the trolls.
Oh my goodness. No, don't drink Bud Light. That's disgusting. Let's see, Hoobie's Garage says we had a mop guy at my track too. He walked in front of the cars when the tree was activated. Oh my God.
The mop guy's a Buffalo Valley. It's just crazy.
He was really intense about mopping that track. I was shooting that and I'm like, oh my God. Like, what is he doing? Why is he standing there? Oh man. All right, so are you done?
I guess so.
You think we're done?
Are we done, guys?
I don't know. I don't know. The mop guy needs to be smarter than the mop. I mean, I guess he felt he was safe because he was behind the car, but still. I mean, if you had a mirror in that car, that would be a big distraction because you would see movement.
You should never be directly behind a car on a drag strip, ever. Ever. But, so, all right. That's it, right? We're done?
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Ari's show is coming up.
Oh, after the Tony.
After the
Ari's show, so anybody wants to
talk about
keep hanging out, right? Ari DeBernia, go over to his channel, and he does a show every Sunday night after hours. And if you want a recap of tonight's live, you can catch the Trolls channel tomorrow because there'll be like 5 or 6 of them all talking about every single thing that we said tonight.
You know what I love the most?
What's that?
Like, okay, I know they're watching now because they're always watching.
They're always watching. Hi, Mr. Swinger.
So it's funny that you mentioned that.
He's such a dickhead.
So I saw him comment on something that was just the most nasty thing. Terrible.
I went over to his channel to look
then
at.
What he does is he'll delete it. Then he'll delete it.
Yeah.
But then he'll come here and he'll just talk normal, like he has never said anything like that ever before. And I'm like, oh my God, like you're really crazy. Like you're really crazy.
this last week, I went over to his channel to actually look at the content that he puts up.
Yeah.
So he's got like 7 installments on rebuilding a power steering pump. like one pump. It's like 7
that's
videos.
That's how you do it, Tony.
he did this thing on what was it? It was identifying small block cylinder heads, right? Whatever it was, and it's like the whole video was about like reading the casting number. Here's the casting number.
Like I said, they go and hide. Yeah. No, I saw the comment that he made, and I was like, "Do you really think that people don't see this crap?" Because I know he deletes them all the time.
Yeah.
Like he'll make it and then he'll take it down, and then come here and like make a normal comment. Like my head goes.
I know. I don't know what drives these people.
We see your comments.
I don't know what drives these people.
I actually save them.
I know they're watching though. Hey Brian.
I have pictures of them.
Hey.
Not just the ones on our
channel. Hey Mr. Swinger. Hey Darth Hemi.
Ones in other places. I take pictures of them all. I've got screenshots. So if you ever want to do that video, Tony, like DD Speed Shop, we've got them.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Mean comments.
Reading mean comments.
Reading mean comments. Oh, we see you. That's right, Zero. We see you.
Hey, huge erection. And
Oh my goodness.
what was that TV show?
What?
Oh God, distant past. It was like from the '60s, probably before your time. Okay, but I know somebody else is gonna, where it was a kids TV show,
Yeah.
right? And it was like, and they're talking to the audience, and they're like, "Hey Jimmy, hey Pete, hey Susie."
I remember, like, when she's looking through the mirror, romper room.
That was it. That
Romper
was it.
room. Yeah.
That was it. Okay.
What about romper room?
Well, I'm saying that's like what we're doing with the trolls.
Oh, do you want to name them all? We know your names. Aries. Aries, like he wants to go on his live. All right, Ari. Yeah,
That's
romper
it.
room.
Guys, listen, everybody who contributed to Super Chat, thank you so much. Always greatly appreciated. It helps keep the wheels turning and everything moving forward. Everybody who contributed with just your presence and your conversation. We're equally appreciative of you. Our amazing mods, Fubar, Ari, Zero, thank you so much as
Thank you to
always.
everyone that's not a troll.
And thank
We
you to
love
the
you
trolls
so
because you
much.
do send attention to us. And listen, I mean you help you are part of our thing, you know. So what else? What do we want
Did
to
you
talk about?
thank Ari, Fubar,
Yes,
and
of course.
Zero?
I always thank them.
Because, like, honestly, we wouldn't be able to do this without them.
No, I know they're fantastic.
I saw that Zero had to, like, put some people in timeout tonight.
Thank you, Zero. Um, so head over to Ari's channel. I don't think there's anything special coming up this week. It's just going to be a week. Nothing crazy. Next Saturday we may. I don't know yet. I would like to do a few 60s on Bottle Rocket, or I really would like to get Plan Z back out there. That was we wanted to start the year with that. But anyway, we'll do something.
So what's going on with the charger? Isn't that next? You gotta
I'm
get
working on a
ready?
charger now. I was working on a charger this morning. I got the front end apart, changing the lower control on bushings. Probably gonna do a video on Mopar lower control on bushings, and it's just I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Everything
You said
on that
everything was frozen, right?
everything on that car is from 1967. It's never been apart. It's been underwater. It took me like literally the whole morning to take one spindle off. It was ridiculous. Oh, the lower control arm. But yeah, we'll do stuff this week. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. And next week we're gonna do a live with Kiwi. Maybe we'll do it on another night. Maybe we'll do 2 lives this week. We'll do one with Kiwi. We'll do a Sunday night one. I don't know.
You don't want to yell about trolls with Kiwi.
Yeah, we may want to make it 2 different nights. But either way, we're definitely gonna do a live with Kiwi sometime this
Maybe
week
you
coming
need to
up.
steal his content.
I need to steal his content.
I know.
So all right, guys, that's it. We're out of here.
Thank you.
I'll see you next Sunday.
Have a great night. We really appreciate you. And happy Easter.
Happy Easter and happy Passover.
Passover.